I absolutely love how it turned out. Hello everyone, welcome back to the 1975 Chevy C10 build. In the last episode, we finally got everything straightened out and all the gaps together. But in this video, we need to get the hood on and actually worked out. Because with these kinds of hoods, they are bad about tacoing, which means that the center of the hood right there likes to bend in and have like a curve. Well, this one's not that bad. However, we do need to fix it to where it is straight and lines up with the fender over here. So the other side actually ain't too bad and probably don't have to work on it, but this side is worse than the other, and so we have to work on it. So what we're gonna have to try to do is get this dent puller and try to pull it, straighten it out, hit it, just try our best to fix it. Alright, so those hinges on that side is froze, so we can't use it, so we're going to use it off of this original fender over here. So we'll be able to hopefully use some PB Blaster to make it work a whole lot better.
See how it's tacos. Fix that.
Yeah, but it's going to lay on there pretty good, though.
Well,
so we got this hood in, and we're going to see if it fits. So we tried the blue hood, but it was tacoed too bad. That closes a whole lot better. The other one wouldn't even latch at the end, but this one actually latches pretty good. Yeah, it's bent up a little bit right there. So we're definitely going to have to fix that, though.
We went ahead and started on the fender. We wanted to go ahead and get all the paint and rust off, so we'd be able to start doing the primer and body work.
There we go. There we go. We got the first top half of the fender nice and grinded down with all the paint off, hopefully. We'll be able to get the rest of the paint off. We just want to cool it down, let it cool down before we get the rest of it, mainly because we don't want to warp it. But it doesn't look like there's much rust on there. There's a ton of Bondo under the paint. I don't think there's very many dents in the fender as well. So we ran into a couple of issues with the hood. We were afraid that once we get it all fixed up and painted, the taco is just going to break the hood. So we tried ordering a brand new hood online for $250, except the shipping is going to be another about $150 to $200. So it'd be $500 and something total. And so that's too much, and we won't get it. It won't be shipped until June. So that is way too long. We want it. So we're just going to be looking around, cancel that order, and go see if we can find another one for cheap that's not taco. Yeah, and then we also want to start taking apart the whole entire cab. Well, we went ahead and started grinding off the paint right here, getting it to the bare metal, but we realized that we want to do that with the truck altogether. So instead, we decided to go ahead and start taking apart the cab and take out the doors and take out the seat and go ahead and sand and grind all the paint out and paint the inside of the cab. We want to do this first before we get everything together, because we're going to have to paint and do all the body work on everything all at once, because the paint's going to have metallic, and if you get the metallic too much in some areas while also having too little in other areas, it won't look good. So we have to have it all ready to be painted all together at once. So doing the interior first will allow us to put the doors back on and then grind and sand everything down. So the fender was kind of bent in, but we're using the ratchet strap. And a bar to kind of finally got the fender straightened up over here. Of course, it still has to have a little bit of work, but I went ahead and got the reflector off. So now that we won't have anything to dodge while trying to grind off all the paint. This side over here has to be reworked because there's a lot of rust back here. But now we are actually going to be taking off the bumper. It's just getting in the way. We're probably going to try to find a chrome bumper somewhere, Facebook Marketplace or something, instead of rebuilding this one, because it won't look as good. But I do believe that we can find a good quality one that's pretty good, like we did on the back bumper. Plans kind of changed a little bit, so we're going ahead and going to strip all the paint off of this one fender, and we're going to take it off and actually fix the rust and paint the interior black, because the engine bay is going to be completely black. That means under the hood, on inside of both fenders, and the core support and the cab, which we already done two of those five things. There's this rust hole right here. Right there, that's a small hole. We're going to try to weld that up. But over here, there is a big one that we're definitely going to have to cut out and re-weld a piece.
We put a thin skim coat of body filler over this fender to make sure that everything was perfectly smooth and looks just about perfect before we primer it. But of course we still have to sand and block, wet sand possibly.
So we finally got a thin layer of Bondo on this fender. Hopefully whenever we actually sand it down completely, there won't be no more Bondo left except for the little holes or the little dents. That's the only place you can see the thin Bondo. But it should be completely smooth and it should look 100 times better. Alright, so we finished the first part of sanding. Now we have to go back over it with 240 grit before we actually primer. As you can see, we got some body filler all along this, made everything smoothed out. All the dents should be gone now by the looks of it when we primer. We're going to definitely have to do that a different day because it's already getting late today. So we'll continue work sometime next week. It is the next day, and now it's time for us to sand a little bit more onto the truck, the fender, and get it ready to be primered. But we're just going to skip until it's time to primer. I might need a screwdriver. Oh yeah.
Plus, there's still some more stuff to ship for your gates. You'll see it.
Just finished primering the front fender, and as you can see, it looks pretty good at first glance, but if you look into it, you could probably see the little imperfections everywhere. But we're gonna have to resand and wet sand some of the areas on here with a block and everything. We're gonna have to block sand it and go back over a few areas, but we could do that a little later. But now we're going to move on to the door and see what's up over here, because as you can see, there's a couple of lines that goes all the way across, and it's kind of dented in, especially over there, but it's dented over here, and tons of little pivots completely covering the door over here. And previously, a lot of Bondo was on this to straighten it out.
That's a good regulator there. There's that mirror, I think. We got most of the dents out of the door by just welding the puller to it and just pulling all the dents out. However, places like these, there were holes, and so we had to weld up those holes. And we tried pulling them out as best as we can, but we're just going to have to leave that to body filler to fix that up. And then over here, we're going to have to do some fixing up over there too. But other than that, we basically got all the dents and scratches out. We are going to be putting a thin skim coat of Bondo over the door so we could actually get all the dents and little holes filled in to make it look perfect. We just got finished skimming over the door, but now we need to wait until it dries so we'll be able to sand it and make sure the whole door is entirely smooth. However, that might take a while. Maybe we need to wait another day or so, because that is kind of a lot. We're continuing work on sanding the door and getting it all smoothed out for primer. We went by Harbor Freight and got this DA dual air sander, and it works great, especially right here. There's some helicopters flying pretty low. They're loud, but it works pretty good. Now we're actually handling.
We decided to go ahead and start grinding the top part of the door, but in order to do so, we had to take out the handle and the mirror and all the mechanisms from the inside.
Take it. And it just goes in there and pops in there. Degrease them and then grease them back up. Clean grease. Get them working good. Let's just keep that. There ain't no way that comes out of there. Move the door outside now, and we're going to see if we could sand this down some more. We added some more filler to get all the indents out after we tried to hit it with a hammer, but now we're going to sand that down and grind this part down as well, and we're going to have to weld up these holes eventually. That is actually really, really good. That's actually, I don't know about the rest of it, but that part right there specifically is really good. If you're wondering what these holes are from, they're from other attempts of drilling holes for the side mirrors that have been changed over time, but we are going to weld them all up, and then once we get the correct side mirrors, we're actually going to drill the holes where they're supposed to be. Alright, so it just started raining on us, and so we kind of had to bring the door into the garage, and we're going to wipe it off, dry it, and then we're going to try to weld up these holes. And then after that, we're probably going to see if we're able to primer it. We're about halfway done welding in, and we already got like 6 holes. I think we did pretty good. We need to do 4 more. These are pretty flat, which is good. That means less grinding. So these welds are not the prettiest, but at least they are flat and nice to be able to grind it down. But now it's time to grind it down and see what it looks like and see if I have to weld some more. I see a hole right there in one of my welds, maybe another one. So I'm going to have to re-weld anyway. So he's going to be using a scoring pad just to scuff up the side of this door, so we'll be able to clean it off and make sure it's able to be painted correctly. Yeah, that'd probably be a good idea. So we just got the first layer of primer on the door, or actually first couple of layers. We sanded down the bottom of this, and we got a couple of coats of primer down here as well. I mean, the door still looks good, but it's still got sand some areas and block it. But it looks better than it did, at least, especially around where they put a bunch of body filler to cover up that crease in the door. But now you can't even tell that there was a crease in the door, which is fantastic. Oh, even over here, it looks pretty good. We didn't even have to do much sanding on that side because there was no rust or anything behind here. Yeah. How you do it right there. Let's see here. Yeah, that looks pretty good to me. All primered. Still needs to be sanded. There's a spider over there. Yeah, we're gonna store this away in our shed for time being until we finish the other side, the other door and the other fender, and then we'll bring it back out here whenever it's ready to be painted. And then possibly after we finish those two, we'll be able to start on the interior of the cab, which won't take very much. It only take a little bit, but we need to clear the surface rust off of the ground or the floor of the cab from where we accidentally left it in the rain, or tried to get it out of the rain, but we couldn't shift the gears. And then we're possibly going to be putting up some black carpet up here. We could probably put a little bit of maybe primer it just to make sure it won't rust again. Make sure it's all clean. So I sanded it all down, sprayed it. It's got trash all in it, but we're gonna sand it. Oh, we're gonna sand it anyway. We'll get that out of there. That's where it was on the horses. I sealed it. Seams all the way around. Can't hardly tell, can you? No, you can't tell, but it would help prevent future water from getting in there. Getting in water, getting in between. That's it. Well, it looks good. Literally been raining for the past 2 weeks straight, and it's been kind of storming here recently over here down south. Oh wow! I thought you already been using that.
Yeah.
Oh, you use it for the you use the other one for the primer. This is for the paint.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
This is the fan's way up here. That's different. The fan on the other one's on the side. That's the fan.
Yeah, I like how this one's green so you could tell the difference between paint and primer. We also got that from Harbor Freight, which is pretty cool. We've been using this primer surface. It's automotive primer. We've been mixing it up with some some reducer with it before we put it into the actual spray gun and spray it off. We're using this paint thinner, and we're going to be using it to clean out the paint gun. It's to weaken the primer and the bowl, and hopefully it would prevent the primer from getting jammed in there. Oh man, it's rained all over me. It's cold too. We got a little bit of flooding going on over here, so we're gonna have to fix that. It's wet. And that rain is cold too. So we took the hood off, and I think we're gonna start taking this fender off and go ahead and see if we could do some welding and stuff to get all this rust off over here. Let's see, because this thing is full of rust over here, so we're gonna have to cut this out, re-weld some better looking metal in from a different fender that we have. There's no telling what's actually hiding in here, but after that we should be able to grind off all the paint. There's a dent right there, I didn't even notice that. Start grinding the paint off, and then being able to primer. For some reason there's a lock on here. I don't know why, unless they wanted to lock it before they sold it, or just to keep it in their pile without being stolen. But we got this, we're gonna get this first. Open. Yeah. Vent. Oh yeah. That folds down. It won't come out of the hole. It's all rusted out too. Ooh, yeah, those are pretty bad. Yeah, it looks good.
Which we might not even have to go that high up. You might just have to go down here.
Yeah, it should fit like right there.
Well, that's going to be it for today's video. We made a lot of progress on the truck, but we still got a ton of work to do. So I hope y'all guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for the next one. I'll see y'all later.